As you may have noticed in the last video, it can be really tedious to have to assign geometric tolerances one by one. AutoCAD does have a couple ways of making that process go a little quicker. One of them is Auto Constrain, and then the other is under in the status bar here, going up to Infer Constraints and turning that on. That brings up, let's see here, I think it's this icon here. Turning that on as you start drawing, it will apply your obvious constraints as it goes. So as I drew those lines, it applied the coincident to the endpoints of those lines. So that is something to have, you can leave on, although sometimes it can kind of be annoying. So turning it off and on as you see fit, but just know that that's there. And the other option, as I just mentioned, was Auto Constrain. Auto Constrain is pretty good for simple stuff. As you get more detailed objects and parts, I would be very cautious on how much you select it when you apply those auto constraints. So for this particular object, I can select the whole thing and hit auto constrain, and it will apply all the necessary geometric tolerances. But as I said, if you have something fairly complex with objects that are kind of close to each other, I would refrain from selecting everything. I would just select kind of areas that you know you can apply things like tangent, coincident, and whatnot. So just know it is very helpful, but it also can kind of do things that you didn't necessarily intend, and can also be sometimes do things that you might not have noticed when it did it. So just be cautious with it. So page 130 in chapter 2, they have a quick tutorial on the automatic constraints. So I'll have you make the shape that's on the screen here, and then at the very end of it there, after you apply your dimensional constraints there, they have you do some equations for those dimensions. So it's only 3 pages. With that, get that one done and show it to me, and you can keep on moving forward.